The church is obviously part of our community and plays a really important part in the issue of making sure that we set our people on the right path of morality and decency, and really cannot be ignored. But what I have noted in the whole of this conversation is a kind of spinning that some of our political leaders do. The president wasn't wrong. I think the president was right when he talked about what he said, because it is also in the Bible. I mean, there is a part in the Bible where somebody donated a small amount, but that was the only thing they had. And I think it was clear from that narrative that this person, their small donation was more acceptable to God than even huge donations that were coming from not within the heart. So I think it's a biblical concept. And I think the president was right that let us not trivialize and use the church for political gain. Because if you go to the church and give them money, a lot of money, the more money you give, then the more favor you expect to get from the church. Really, I think that's wrong. I think the church leaders also need to be told that they have a moral obligation to ensure that what we put in this country is decency first. And the idea of money in church should not be overemphasized as we have noticed. In fact, I would say this, that some of our churches, and somebody will say I'm castigating the churches, but the fact is this: if you look at the harambes held in churches throughout 5 years, you will notice very heightened number of harambes during the campaign year. Clearly, that means that there are some church leaders who target political leaders for purposes of raising money to build their churches. And I think that if I was a church leader, I would be interested in building my church from my congregation, because then God has blessed your congregation to be able to support its own church. But when we go to political leaders where they can be ones that build the church, we kind of miss the point, in my opinion. So I think I would like to urge that church leaders do what the president said. Let them do their bit and allow political leaders also do their bit, and not combine the two. Okay. I have seen situations where people go to church and they endorse you. You go to a church and they endorse you. And the church leader tells the people, okay, this is a person we are supporting. Can you show by a show of hands? They all lift their hands. The next weekend, another opponent goes there. And they want the same person also to be endorsed. And they say, Ata huyu tunaona, he's capable. And again, the same people lift their hands. So people are forced to or are made to lie in churches. So I think politics should be kept out of church. And I think that's what the president was really leading towards. But let me...
Have you witnessed these sort of donations within your constituency? Or
yes, they are all over.
By who?
I will tell you this, that in fact I have about 4 or 5 churches in my constituency that were pushing for the deputy president to come. When they heard he's giving 5 million, he's giving 10 million. I mean, I'm telling you the reality. The church was on a frenzy when they realized there's somebody who's giving huge donations. And that's a part we are uncomfortable about, because I was saying, look, why don't you accept us to come and give our 5,000 as opposed to that money that, as the president said, you're not too sure about? How would you teach morality as a church? And at the same time, you're the ones that are accepting money, and you know very well that this money has been talked about. So I think the president was right. I think we cannot second guess him.